Okay, today we are going to talk about something super important, and that is managing your files. There's so much stuff on our computers and on the internet and in the cloud that it just is a great big mess. Now the mess is on our computer instead of a big pile of papers on our desk, but we have to learn how to manage it and keep everything organized so we can find what we need. So the first thing we're going to look at is email. The biggest tip I have for you is to delete emails you do not need. So in my email this morning I have one right here that appears to not apply to me, so I'm going to give it a quick skim and see that it does not apply to me, and I'm going to delete it. So it's as easy as that. Oh, look, I have a new assignment. I'm aware of that. Now I can delete it. I don't need that email anymore. The next thing we can do is organize our emails that we do want to keep with labels. So if I open an email and see, who's out for today, I have move to. And then I've already created a bunch of labels that I use for emails I get frequently. So I know I get a lot of emails that have to do with technology, and I get a lot of emails from people at school, and I get a lot of emails from administration. So I create labels for that. Down here I can create a new label. Maybe I can create a label for my staff out emails. You can even nest it underneath a label so you have a folder in a folder. So I'm going to create. And now if I scroll over here, staff out has its own folder. And there's the email I just put in. You can even create different colors within your labels to help you keep things organized. I like color coding a lot. If you're looking for a specific email or from a specific person, you can use the search bar at the top. If I'm looking for something specific, either by a person, or I can search for a phrase in an email. So things are not lost. You have lots of ways to find and access your email information. Next, let's look at our Google Drive. This is something that can get super disorganized if we allow it to. So I have folders within all of my Google Drive, lots and lots of folders. So things that I have categories for. So things that I have different categories for. So I lead a Battle of the Books club, so I have a folder for that. And when I open it are all my Battle of the Books documents. I even have a folder for things I don't need that I don't necessarily want to throw away. So you create a folder by going to New, Folder. You give it a name, something specific so you can find things later. And then I can either go into that folder and create new documents in that folder, or I can go back and find like a document about telescope night, and if I right-click, I can move to that new folder I just created and say move. And it tells me at the bottom it has been moved. Now I can scroll up and go into that folder, and there is that document. I can color code these as well. I like color coding. So in my mind, science is green, so all of my science folders are a shade of green. I can move documents from one folder to another, so if I don't want this anymore in this folder, I can move to, I go out of the science folder and then into this folder, and even into that folder. I have folders inside my folders. Sometimes if you have a folder that's shared with people, it's going to warn you, hey, this is going to share this document with anyone that the folder is shared with, and that's okay. Something super important we're going to talk about here that applies to absolutely everything is naming your files. So, new Google Doc, for example, you do not want to have a Google Drive full of documents called untitled document. You will never be able to find anything. So anything that you're ever going to turn in or share with other people, you want to name it something specific. So I might do my last name so people know where it's coming from, and then the name of the document. And be specific. It can be long. Telescope night plan. So when I close out and refresh, there's my document with my specific name. All right, so now I want to look at my desktop, which, if you will note, there is nothing on it. That is the way I like it. It needs to be nice and clean. I do keep folders on my desktop, but I actually hide them with a sticky note. So you do not want to have a desktop that looks like this. This is insane. There's absolutely no way to find anything. It's just busy. So I recommend creating folders on your desktop. I right-click, New Folder. Again, I need to name it something specific. And maybe even with a date or a year. I'm going to hide it still. And then when I open that folder, I can drag and drop things into it. And there it is. In the past, I've had it where I've got folders lined up down one side maybe. The point is keeping things organized and in folders will make your life much, much easier. Also, we're going to talk about downloads. Now, it's super easy to get overwhelmed with our downloads. So if I go to, for example, I want to download this video from code.org. So it gives me the option right here to download. Now, this is something that it's my personal preference. I do not like using my downloads folder. Instead, I go to Preferences within Chrome or Safari or whatever you're using, and I change my location of where my downloads go. So if I keep scrolling into Advanced, I want my downloads to go to my desktop because when I have something on my desktop, I know that it needs to be organized, done something with, put somewhere. So you can change this. It'll automatically set to go to your downloads folder. I have mine set to my desktop. So now I can take this folder, this item, and put it in a folder and do something with it. Maybe it needs to go in my Google Drive. Maybe it needs to go in a folder. But before I can do that, I need to rename it because later when I come back, what is C2 Artist Intro? So I'm going to rename it something that makes sense. Code.org video, and I'm going to put the date. So now I know what that video is. And then I'm going to put it inside my folder. Drag and drop, Max Love, drag and drop. The same works if you're going to download something like a picture. This is the new black hole that was just discovered and taken a picture of. So I'm going to save this image as, and that's going to give me more capability and then if I just click save. And I'm going to change this to make sure it says desktop. And again, ESO1907A, what is that? So I'm going to change it to black hole pic. And then I save. And again, it automatically goes to my desktop because that's the way I have it set up. And I'm going to then organize that picture so I know where it is later. You can also drag and drop it straight into your Google Drive. So I have my folder, drag, drop. And it's going to upload it into my Google Drive. And there it is. So my main point is be mindful of your files. Be mindful of what you call them, where you put them, how you organize them. Please do organize them. All of these are just my systems and the things that I have come up with, but just the most important thing is have a system.